So I think you guys have all heard me talk about probably at some point the importance of digital marketing, SEO, pay-per-click, social media. And I get asked and asked and asked, who do we use, right? Who do we use for our digital marketing? And it's sometimes difficult for me to translate that to you guys because as you guys have probably, if you saw Jimmy yesterday, the size of our company means our resources are greater than probably some of y'all's. So it's hard for me sometimes to introduce these companies to you guys because they may be looking for a different size customer. Well, a couple years ago, we partnered with a digital marketing agency by the name of Regex SEO. Hopefully you saw them out in the lobby earlier, but if you didn't, they are our SEO vendor. We've been with them a little bit over 2 years now, which if you've ever partnered with a digital agency and you made it past a year, you'll understand how significant that is. So I'm not quick to suggest or endorse companies to you guys because I never want to lead you guys astray. I don't ever want to give you something that you end up spending money on and you're wasting money. So like I said, we've been with these guys for about 2 years, highly vetted, and finally talked them in to meeting with Terry and us getting together and building a PRAXIS partnership with them. So with that said, I'm not going to take up too much more time. I'm going to bring on stage Dmitrii. Dmitrii is our main contact at Regex SEO, and he's going to talk today about how to drive more leads and traffic to your website using SEO and PPC means. So everybody give a hand for Dmitrii, please.
Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me? Yes, all right. Well, I hope lunch was nice. I did not have lunch because I was afraid that I would fall into the post-lunch coma. So if anybody of you feel too tired, sleepy, I give you permission to do some jumping jacks. Now, let me see. All right. I would like to start with a confession. I am a nerd.
He is. Let me.
Thank you. I'm sorry, what?
Let me just a quick story about when I first met Dmitrii.
Uh-oh.
So we were vetting new SEO agencies, and I would have to believe most of you guys have talked to some of these digital marketing companies out there, and you almost always get a business development or a sales guy. And these guys know the terms, but they don't understand the terms. And so when I contacted Regex and I got the chance to get Dmitrii on the phone, he's talking nerdy to me, and I loved it. And I expected a sales pitch, and I never got a sales pitch from him. So it evolved from there, and so that's one thing I love about him. He's and I love you, Dmitrii, but he's not a sales guy. He's a nerd. So.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't have salespeople in our company. So there is a saying that every one of us have voices in our heads. Well, my voices seem to talk about maths and numbers and data, and they have their own data centers. And instead of talking about the normal everyday stuff, which I kind of ask those voices to talk about, they seem to always talk and come back to the numbers and math and whatever else. Instead of counting the sheep when we go to bed, when I go to bed, the sheep are doing long divisions for me. So that's a whole different story. Have any of you people heard of the game, the popular game now, Wordle, when you have to do the guessing of the word? Well, I don't play Wordle. I play Nerdle. Instead of guessing the words, you have to guess the equations. You know, that's what I do. Instead of having a favorite band or television series, I have a favorite number. It's, by the way, it is 57,177,187,714. Anyone knows why? No? The answer is, if you type it in the calculator and turn the calculator upside down, you get hillbillies.
Woo! I wasn't sure where you were going with that for a minute. I know as a kid, we typed something else in there and turned it upside down. That's what I was afraid of. Sorry.
I kid, of course. I kid, of course. It's not my favorite number. My favorite number is 73. But that's not what we're talking about here today. So, how in the world do I survive? When everybody's talking words and I have to talk numbers. The reason I can survive and more or less thrive in this world is that I apply my talents in what I do best, in digital marketing strategy, in data-driven strategy. And for the areas that I have no clue about, I try to find people who are the best in those areas. So whenever Hiller reached out to us and they were looking for a data-driven marketing agency to help them dominate the local markets in multiple locations in the online world, and they were looking for quite significant 50% or more year-over-year organic growth, we immediately knew that that would be a great and productive and efficient partnership because it clicked, the pieces of the puzzle fit. They are the best at HVAC and electrical repairs and sales and customer service. They eat, sleep, and breathe HVAC and trades services. So what they needed was a piece of the puzzle to fit into their structure. And that led them to find marketing nerds like us. And now I'll give the stage to Nick to talk about a bit of the process of how they were finding the company and what their criteria was.
So I kind of hinted at it earlier. And I talked to a lot of you guys, my background is very heavy in digital marketing. I started building websites when I was 13 back in the 90s. Had jobs through high school with software companies, building websites for companies. Just got bored of it by the time I got to college and ended up just thinking through what my career path looked like. And that career path was, I liked the aspect of making people attracted to a brand and bringing them into the business. So that led me into marketing, that led to an advertising agency internship, so on and so forth, so I'm here. All that to say is, I'm also a nerd, a little bit of a nerd, nowhere near like this guy is, but I do love SEO, and PPC and SEO is kind of like a hobby, if you will, for me. So I interviewed probably 10 or 15 SEO companies, and these guys were, again, the first guys I didn't feel like I was getting a sales pitch. They showed me the reporting. They showed me the reporting I thought was important and not the vanity metrics that a lot of these guys sell you on. So that's ultimately why we chose them a couple years ago. So they really made these data-driven decisions on how to improve your website's ranking versus selling you the dream and big pictures on a presentation. As a matter of fact, his presentation I think was all words, but here we are.
Thank you, Nick. All right, so the world of online marketing. You might be looking like Woody over there, kind of all confused and not knowing where to start. Maybe you have tried other agencies and didn't get any good results. Or maybe you actually do marketing, online marketing now, and you have decent results and it works, but you're looking to get your company, your business to that next level. And you are in the right place. We're going to go through tidbits. We're going to go through golden nuggets, the secret sauce of the online marketing and how you will be able to get, by implementing small things, how you will be able to get your business to that next level. By the way, I just realized that I was preparing for a 10-hour-long session, but I just see that it's 1.0-hour-long session. Well, you know, I wish, but if we did have a 10-hour-long session, maybe we were able to cover about 2.3% of online marketing strategies.
For today, it'll change tomorrow.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So, but no worries, we have a table in the hall, so if you have any questions after the presentation, I will be happy to talk to you about your specific needs. Now, so let's cover the basic really quick. Show of hands, who here has business cards? Good. Did you bring it here? Yes? Good. Now, who of you have like the wraps on the work trucks? Good. Now, imagine this. What if you printed business cards? What if you wrapped the truck and then left business cards in the darkest corner of your room so it never can see the light of the day? Or you wrapped the car, wrapped the truck, and parked it in the garage and never took it anywhere. I would assume that all of us here would understand that that probably wouldn't be the best decision of the business. So, your website is a marketing tool. It is meant to be, it's not supposed to be sitting in the darkest corner of your business, collecting dust and never seeing the light of day. It is meant to be the best salesperson for your business. And if it's not, then there's a problem. Because it works 24/7. It doesn't take breaks for lunch. It doesn't go to the bathroom. It doesn't take sick days or vacation days. So it also doesn't fall asleep at PRAXIS conferences. I see you there. So if your website is unappealing, if it is not inviting, it's not supposed to be a deterrent. If you have problems with that, we can talk later. But that's the main basic thing, that your website is a marketing tool. Now, no matter how much money you invest into offline marketing, online marketing, whatever it is, if your website does not convert those visitors into paying customers, then it's the same as what these guys are doing here. You're just going to be dumping money into marketing, and never anything will come out of it. So how do you get more visitors to the website? There are a lot of marketing channels. There's the whole online marketing channels and emails and search and PPC and whatever else. There's the whole offline part of it, you know, conferences and networking and cold calls and whatever else. However, if you had to choose between online and offline marketing, then I suggest you always go for online marketing first. Why? Because online marketing is 100% trackable. If you ever invest in TV ads, radio ads, in a newspaper ad or magazine ad, do you really ever know for sure how accurate or any data you get from it? Will you know how many actual calls that ad, the TV spot brought? Versus in the online marketing where, like for example, a TV ad, people just watch TV as a background noise. So you will not be able to differentiate. In online marketing, every step of the way from seeing your keywords on search engine to making a sale, you can track every single step. That's why it's essential for your business to invest into online marketing before you start thinking about non-trackable marketing. And that the online marketing can not just accurately present the results, but also it will gather a lot of data about your audience, about your potential customers, demographics data, location data, which zip code performs better than the others. And then using all of that data, you can go with that to TV production company, TV ad production company, and use it there. And therefore, you will reduce your costs or rather increase your ROI. There are two main channel groups in online marketing. The first group is when customers search for you, looking for you. Example would be Google search. Somebody goes to Google and types in HVAC repair in city such and such. Or that's when the ads pop up, the Google ads. Or maybe direct channel, somebody's looking for your business name. Second group is the brand awareness, when you try to do the exposure campaigns. When people are not searching necessarily for a service you're providing, but instead of when you are trying to get in front of those people faces. So that's email marketing, social media, and third-party websites, and so on. So as you can see, there are quite a few options out there. And how do you find out which of these options will be the best for you? Which one should you invest to? The answer, you probably guessed it, data-driven marketing decisions. By tracking your ROI of your past, present, and future campaigns, you will be able to understand what works, what worked, and what doesn't, and what probably won't. What marketing campaigns work better than others, and then you can make, then you can know where to double down or lift off the investment efforts. So, if there is only one thing from today you remember when you leave this conference, it should be this. Perform a true ROI calculation when you come back home for all of the marketing activities you have done for your business. And when I say true ROI, I mean look at not just how many leads it brought, but how many sales it brought. And at the same time, the true cost of it, all of the fees and everything included. You will be surprised. I have spoken to many business owners when they, quite frankly, don't have an idea even. So if you can't answer the questions like how many calls, leads, or sales we got from this specific magazine ad, or how many calls, leads, and sales have been brought by results of this social media management agency, then that's what needs to be fixed first before you do anything else. Because otherwise, how will you know if it actually works? Is it just a matter of because it was cold month last month, or maybe hot month last month? Maybe there's something else happened. So get friendly with the numbers, get friendly with the data, and if your head starts spinning, if you start falling asleep when you start looking at the numbers, well, find a friend who is a nerd. So that's that. Now, let's dive into the secret sauce. Where is the lamb sauce for the online marketing channels? There you go. SEO, I'm sure most of you know what it is. It's when you go to Google and type in some kind of keyword and the results pop up. SEO is about long-term growth. It's not about immediate results. You will not be able to get results tomorrow or next month. It takes few months. Here is the curve of efforts. Basically, in the beginning, for search engine optimization, it takes a lot of effort, and the longer you do it, there's that compounding effect. And the longer you do it, the more you do it, the easier it becomes, the cheaper it becomes. Compared to ads, Google ads, for example, even, the more you do it, the more money you invest into it, the harder it becomes. And the problem is, in that top right corner, let's say tomorrow, Facebook or Google or whoever else, wherever you advertise, decides, you know what, we need to bump up our stock prices or Wall Street numbers. They increase the prices, that's it. You have to spend more. There are four main ingredients of SEO, search engine optimization. Content, that's fairly self-explanatory. If you are not optimizing, if you're not talking on your website about electrical repairs, then you're not going to be able to rank for electrical repairs. If you're talking about cats, you're not going to be able to rank for dogs. Backlinks, this one is very much misunderstood. The easy way to understand is backlinks they represent the vote of confidence from one site to another. It's like a recommendation from your friend. That's how Google looks at that. The more of those links from other sites you have, the better they are. So if your best friend recommended you a certain restaurant, you're more likely to go there and try that restaurant versus if it was a random person in Google reviews or something like that. So in essence, backlinks to your website are a signal to search engines like Google that other people vouch for your content, vouch for your expertise. Then we have user experience. Very straightforward, but Google is pushing this a lot. Basically, this means that whenever somebody goes to your website, they need to be able to get to the answer they're looking for quickly. If your website is all messed up and takes forever to load, and technical optimization-wise, maybe it looks horrible on mobile device, and you try to click on something, it's not being clicked. You have to make sure that all of that stuff is taken care of. What is the secret sauce of SEO? if you had one thing that you asked me, like, what's the actual strategy? What's the best strategy to start with? It is called iterative low-hanging fruit approach. And what it means is that there are many searches, many keywords that you can go after. But if you go after all of them, it's going to take you a long time, you're going to spend a lot of money, and you're not going to get many results. So in order to get really good ROI, you have to think about this approach like this. There are opportunities that will bring the most result for your business in your area. There are 4 steps to this. First one is search volume. There's some nerd talk here, so please don't space out. Do some jumping jacks. Search volume, that's how many people are searching for your service in your area. Second one is how difficult it is to rank for it. So are you competing versus a huge company with 10 times the budget in your area? The third one is the search intent. What does user actually want when they search for that? And the fourth one is the business value for you. So here's an example. The first column is, let's say you try to go after a keyword, what is HVAC? Technically, it has a lot of people searching for it, 30,000 searches a month. So that sounds like, ooh, that's a lot of opportunity, right? Not really. Keyword difficulty is huge. Websites like Wikipedia and Train.com and USnews.com, all of them rank for that. And for you, in order to beat them, you'd have to have comparable marketing budgets. And third is the search intent is not what you want. People are not looking for a service to buy, for a product to buy. They're looking just kind of like, I'm just maybe finding out what HVAC stands for. And therefore, the business value for you will be pretty much 0. Now, I'm from Houston. I live in Houston. There is a small town called Conroe. And now this is like the second step. HVAC repair. If somebody is searching for HVAC repair in Conroe, there are only 120 people searching a month for that, so way fewer than 30,000. But the keyword difficulty, the competition is much lower. There's Angie's List that you can have your listing on. There is Yelp. You can have your listing on, expertise, and then some local companies. Now, one of the questions is about search intent. What average homeowner will use word HVAC? Probably not many. And even if you do get it like an HVAC repair, then your profit for the business, your revenue for the business is a few $100s. Versus the third column, which is AC replacement in Conroe. Business value, if you actually replace the unit, you're talking thousands. The keyword difficulty is way lower. More people search for that than for HVAC repair. And there's no big companies that you're competing against on search engine. So out of these 3, it's fairly obvious which one you should choose. Now, this is the process that you should follow by yourself with your internal team or with a third-party agency on how to get to that low-hanging fruit. What is the best result for least effort? And how do you find all this data? There are tools like Moz, SEMrush, Ahrefs. They have free trials. They are fairly inexpensive, like under $100 a month. And, or you can even do it on a piece of paper, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it on a piece of paper.
Well, you could. Yeah.
We subscribe to all 3 of these. So now, if you don't have a marketing person in-house, you probably wouldn't want to subscribe to them if you didn't understand what you were looking for. Right. But they're very valuable tools that continue to help us know where our site is and how to continue improving it.
Right. All right, so moving on. How do you measure SEO success? This is the question that you should be asking yourself and your agency or marketing team. How do you make sure that the keywords you're targeting actually will make the difference in the business? And there are metrics that you should not hang up on, and then there are metrics you should definitely pay attention to. So it's going to get controversial. Organic conversions, I say, this is not the metric you should pay attention to, or also known as goal completions in Google Analytics. Now, I know you might be thinking, hey, this guy has an accent, he has Russian last name, he's probably drinking vodka instead of water. No. Hear me out. I have seen so many improperly set up conversions in Google Analytics. There are people who are tracking visits to contact us page as conversions. They're tracking forms that don't have anything to do with business value, maybe like email newsletter subscription or something of alike. Instead of, now you should track those organic conversions, but instead of paying attention, all of the attention as a business owner to that, what you should do instead is you should pay attention to sales brought through organic channel. That means that how many actual qualified leads came through, and then how many of those you closed as a business. Here's kind of the problem, or a lot of misunderstanding here. It means that your conversions that you're tracking in Google Analytics, for example, should be 100% bulletproof, meaning that it should be actual booking of appointments. It should not be something vague. And you should have a proper connection between your website and your CRM, like Service Titan, for example, so that your marketing and sales data can connect and talk to each other. That way, in your reports, you will see true ROI of all of the organic efforts, and you will be looking at an actual number of qualified leads, actual sales by broad SEO efforts, and not a number of who knows what, who knows who forms submitted on a website. Next one, do not hang up on number of keywords that are ranking on the first page. It's the idea of what we looked at earlier. Some of those keywords don't matter for the business. So instead, like for example, if you rank for how much does AC filter cost? Who cares? The point is not about that. Or what color electrical tape should I use? Who cares? That's not what the business is about. Instead, pay attention to what keywords are ranking on the first page. And when these are the type of keywords you will be able to understand if those are the keywords that are impacting your bottom line of the business. As we discussed earlier, AC unit replacement is more valuable than maybe AC repair or like AC filter replacement or something like that. So make sure that your business strategy and SEO strategy are aligned. And the third one is do not get hung up on month-over-month comparison of organic traffic, visits to the website, conversions, all of the metrics. Why? Because there is seasonality. There is things like in COVID, that was very clearly more people stayed at home, so it was more demand for services in those times. So instead of looking at month over month, which can be impacted by, like if you compare spring to winter for heating, if you compare fall to summer for cooling, instead of that, look at year-over-year comparison for all of those metrics. Because that way you can compare February to February, you can compare July to July, and so on. Of course, don't forget to look at it with a business growth perspective as well. So these are, when we started working with Healer, we saw those opportunities. We saw those issues that were, some goals were improperly set up. Some things were incorrectly targeted. So this is year-over-year result. And you can see that, first of all, it's all green, which is a great thing to see. But then you can see that at the bottom line, second from the left, SMART goal. That's an automatically set up conversion, doesn't do anything for the business. First thing, you have to remove it. And then, for example, second line, fifth, request appointment. That's the actual appointments. That's the people requesting appointments to get their plumbing fixed or AC repaired. So instead of looking at kind of like month over month, or instead of looking at problems that do not matter for the business, we started looking at that. And these are the results. So we were able to, by implementing all these fixes, we were able to improve organic performance for Healer by 50% 2 years in a row, and we were able to get them high search volume key phrases in those 12 cities in top 3 organically. Here's a couple examples, like if you actually pull up your phone now and Google Nashville plumber, they're in top 3. Or AC repair in Nashville, that's one of their biggest markets. And at this point, if Nick, can you talk about a bit of sales?
So for us, when I first stepped into the role at Hiller, unfortunately, the previous marketing team was one of those sales people I said earlier. They knew what the keywords, the buzzwords for SEO meant. They just didn't understand how they affected site performance. So when I walked in, we had 0 keywords on page 1 because unfortunately when they made a domain shift, they got penalized by Google. And we had nothing ranking. And I say nothing ranking. Obviously there were some keywords ranking, but none of those important keywords. We have about 157-ish keywords for each market we track, which we've looked at and optimized 3 or 4 times now. It's always, you got to continually optimize. And so the first company we hired I fired the company that was doing it for us previously. And the first company we hired after that, we spent a year with them. And we got about 13 of those 150-ish keywords on page 1. And it just wasn't moving at the level I wanted. And I was having this problem in my head because I'm like, if I could just dedicate all my time to this, I know I could crush it because the domain was right, everything was right about it. We just had to get it ranking. So like I said earlier, when I started talking to Dmitrii and we were on the same wavelength on this stuff, I was like, okay, this is the guy, we're gonna give him a shot. And so 2 years later, and the results are there, clearly they've proven themselves. And so I personally endorse these guys. I think they're a fantastic company and just want to share our personal experience with them. But the whole deal was just making sure that we weren't just going with our gut feeling about was it working? Could we Google plumber in Nashville and see ourselves and feel good about ourselves? We had to have a data-driven approach, and that's what they brought to us. So there you go.
Yep, thanks. So I hope that was the organic search engine optimization. I hope you got some golden nuggets for your brain. And now we're going to move on to pay-per-click. This is obviously one of the channels that is very, very popular, and some people think that that's the magic, that's where the magic is. Of course, paid search, PPC, the ads, that's your Google ads, Bing ads, and so on. I would like to start with a story. We own a house. It's a nice property, quite a few acres. It's very wooded. That's the picture. In fall, all of the leaves are very bright and colorful. There is some creek running through it. There is a little trail we can walk on.
That's in Texas?
No, that's in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about Texas, but I haven't seen many sites like that.
Yeah. In Texas, there would be just a field with nothing and 1 cow.
Okay.
So yeah, one of the evenings, me and my wife were walking the property, and we decided to, hey, let's build some fire. Let's have some fire pit. And I gathered some of the woods, the branches, stacked them up, threw some newspaper in there, lit it up, and nothing happened. Like, all right, well, probably the branches are wet, right? So, okay, went and got the lighter fluid, poured some lighter fluid on all that stuff, lit it up, nice big fire. It looks like everything is going nice, and then a minute later, it all died down again. And only after enough of the branches got dried up enough from all that sporadical fiery chaos, we were able to start the fire going. So, in the world of marketing, paid search is like gas on fire. And then SEO are the logs for that fire. This is my favorite saying, and you need to remember this, because this is what differentiates everybody who understands the differences between the pay-per-click and SEO. So the idea is that when you use pay-per-click, when you pay for ads, you can spend a lot of money, You can, let's say, work for a year or two with a PPC agency, and then all of a sudden you decide, you know what, I don't want to do any paid ads anymore. That same day, you just lost all of that effort, all of that money invested into ads, campaigns, landing pages, and so on. In SEO, however, it is all about how that log, it keeps giving as long as you throw a log once in a while. And it lasts for much longer than that little pour of a gasoline. So unlike SEO, PPC is not a long-term investment channel with a compounding effect. So how do you use PPC correctly? Here's a golden nugget for you. This is the strategy that proved itself over and over and over again for us. Instead of using PPC, the ads, pay-per-click, as your main marketing strategy, you should consider it, you should use it as a supplementary lead channel to offset the cost of marketing channels by producing leads right away. So sometimes the idea is that you need to develop your organic online presence, and then sometimes when you need that extra push, maybe you had a bad sales week last week, maybe you bought a new truck or got a new hire, and you need to fill those leads, get that new tech busy. That's when you use PPC. It's like gas on a fire. You should have it going, and then when you need an extra push, you add it up. That's when you use PPC. Now, some of you might be questioning if I'm drinking vodka again over here. I'm not. And you might be asking, why in the world would I stop paying for ads if they are bringing me leads? The answer is actually quite simple. If you have virtually unlimited budget, absolutely, do it all. However, for most of us, the budgets are limited. So you have to pick and choose. Therefore, the best in terms of ROI strategy is to invest into SEO, and PPC should be that extra push whenever you need it. And that way you can, when you have limited budget, you do that all, and for that initial marketing growth, if you're a brand new company, maybe you have not done marketing before, definitely in the beginning, use PPC. Get the fire started, that lighter fluid analogy. And then after that, just rely on organic search more than PPC. So what's the actual secret sauce of PPC campaign? And we're going to get some nerd talk again here, but hopefully that'll help you in the long run. Quality score, that's a term in PPC, in Google Ads, Bing Ads, is probably the most important metric that there is. What that is, it's like it says, it's the quality of your marketing campaign. It's from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. So this number gives you, it helps you identify the areas of improvement where you might need to yell at your PPC agency, where you can pat them on the back. And that way you can ensure that all of your PPC efforts are maximized. And this quality score aspect is very, very important to grasp, because it shows that, the data shows that if you have a perfect score, 10 out of 10, your paid search costs will be as lower as much as 50%. Now, if this doesn't get you excited, then consider this. If you have the worst possible quality score of 1 out of 10, your cost per click, the cost of the ads, goes up by as much as 600%.
Yeah, and guys, just a quick way of thinking of this, and there's a little bit more to it, but I'm going to give you the basic analogy of how this works. Your quality score multiplied by your cost per bid, or your bid amount, equals your ad rank. And what I mean by ad rank is where it's going to rank on the page for any given search. So if you're bidding a maximum of $5 per click and you have a quality score of 10, your ad rank is a 50 essentially. If you're bidding $10 per click and your ad score is a 5, you're also a 50, but you're willing to pay up to $10 versus pay up to $5. And that's because Google rewards relevant searches. And so that's why it's so important. That's why he's absolutely right. Quality score is the most important metric in your pay-per-click campaigns. By the way, you can see your quality score on ads inside of Google Ads. But just to give you that quick understanding of how that works, $5 bid with a 10 quality score is a 50 ad rank versus a $10 bid for a 5 quality score is a 50 ad rank. Would you rather pay the 50 or would you rather pay the 5 or the 10? And all the difference between those two is how well optimized you are. That's why, and I think I got asked, why don't you bring somebody in-house? Because these agencies have software and a team that are built to optimize these things routinely. And even if I had one person in-house trying to do this, it would be really close to impossible for one person to optimize for our 16 locations, the quality score, and get all of them to 10. So I used to be on the other side, I used to be on the agency side, and I had a little graph I'd show, and I'd work it all out for them and say, you're spending 30% more on your ads than what you'd be spending with me, but you think you're saving money because you're not paying a paid agency to do this, right? But in fact, paid agencies can drop your cost by 30, 40, 50%, and you only pay them 10, 15, 20%, whatever their fees are. So just a quick note on that to help you understand that a little bit better.
Yep. And so here's the PPC success factors. Let's go really quickly through this. There's four touch points, what we call keywords, what you show up for, the ads you use. So keywords show ads, ads convince users to click, clicks deliver users to a landing page on your website, which then generates conversion, then in turn, it should become sales. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to go really quickly through this. Keywords, here's the main point. Don't go for prestige keywords. Top lawyer in Houston, the best marketing, the best HVAC agency in Sarasota. Go for where it makes most sense for your business. Same example. What is HVAC? Technically, a lot of opportunity in terms of searches. Technically, it has fairly inexpensive cost per click. But because business value is 0, what's the point? Instead, go for those keywords that cost the least by bringing the most value for your business.
And one quick thing to note right there on this is that's why anytime you see an SEO presentation or a PPC presentation, they always say the very first thing you start off with is keyword research. And that's because if you want your site to rank for all the keywords, you don't have a strategy. Without a strategy, you're going to spin your wheels and you're not going to rank for any of them. You've got to know what keywords to target in order to get your site onto the first page for those high-value keywords.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's don't go after prestige keywords. Go after keywords that bring the most ROI for the business. One of the things, really quick, a little save money tip for you for the ads. If you rank number 2, if your ad comes up in position number 2, that's not the worst thing because you will pay about half. But in terms of clicks, you're going to get about the same or marginally different. What tools do you use to do that keyword research and all the cost per click data and all this stuff? The same ones we talked about before, plus Google Ads. Now, really quickly, keyword match types. There are 3 now: broad match, phrase match, and exact match. Never use broad match type keyword. If you have an agency, PPC agency, doing paid, you pay them to optimize, and you see broad match type keywords, that means they're not doing their job. What this means, it's very, very broad stuff.
Number one thing I see from y'all's reports whenever I look at them, and I always ask for your Google Ads report. Number one thing I see is the agencies buying broad match keywords. It's first mistake in PPC.
Yeah. And what broad match means is that it will match broadly, meaning that it doesn't have to be specific. If somebody searches for what is HVAC, it might come up. If somebody searches for what color is my AC unit, might come up. Stuff that doesn't matter to anybody. And recently Google Ads, they removed what used to be called broad match modifier. And really what that means is that now they literally tell you this. If you want to do it effectively, efficiently, you have to do it right. Or if you wish to be lazy and kind of use the broad match stuff, then sure, you will spend less time ahead of time, but then you'll have to pay for it because there's going to be a lot of trash what you're going to be showing up for.
Those are going away, though.
The ads. So the idea is that the ads should match the keyword. If somebody's searching for AC repair in Conroe, your ads should say AC repair in Conroe. There is the concept that's called single keyword ad group. The idea is that you should have one keyword per specific topic. You shouldn't use one ad for everything else. Basically, if somebody searches for electrical repairs and AC repairs, you should not have the same ad saying, we do it all. It should be very, very targeted. And here's a little example. With Google Ads, it's all about using the right ads at the right time for the right person. McDonald's there, I don't know if you can see it or not. Right? The top says, child obesity, don't take it lightly. And then ad from McDonald's, my kind of shopping spree. So the ads should be extension of the keywords, make sure that the message is appealing, reinforces the keyword, and possibly has a twist. The sole purpose of the ad is for people to pay attention to it, to click on it. So make sure that it's very targeted and matches the key phrases. The next one is landing pages. This is super important because landing pages will make or break your ROI for PPC. No matter how much money you spend on your ads, $1 million or $100, after people go to your website and do not make a conversion, then what's the point? You're going to just be wasting money left and right. So make sure that the keyword, the ad, and the landing page have the same message.
Number two thing I see with y'all's ads whenever I look at your reports, the ads are sending people to your homepage.
Yeah.
That's not where it should go.
No.
That's not relevant to the search. Number two.
Yeah, it should be very, very specific. So imagine like this. Imagine this scenario. Somebody typed in some type of keyword that you target as a business, well, what Nick said, and then they go to the homepage. And it's like taking 2 steps back. So the last thing, right, on the landing page, let people know that they are in the right place and give them a very relevant call to action to schedule a booking, make a call, whatever that is.
You got them on the line, reel them in. That's what the landing page is supposed to do.
There you go. Now, I present to you the best landing page I possibly have ever seen in my marketing career. Look at this beauty. Please don't be that guy. If you, as a searcher, as a user, ended up on this, you probably will have a seizure. I almost had when I saw this. All right. So just make sure that it's very clear, it's very concise, it's very clear what to do. And here's the actual healer landing page. As we talked before, actually I skipped that part. There are 5 main things.
Here's your $20 for calling that out. Thank you, from my boss.
So there's the contextual images for the service. There is a value proposition in the headline. There is a singular focused call to action, which is schedule an appointment. The clearly outlined benefits, there are the 3 little things at the bottom, available 24/7, fast service, expert help. And the social proof of testimonials or reviews, which is the Google thing.
I'd just like to make one comment about this specific landing page. I didn't know Dmitrii was actually going to use one of ours. So the reason why you don't see anything on here about AC, heating, cooling, electrical, or plumbing is because he picked our branding landing page.
Yes.
So if you would have picked one of our AC repair landing pages, the headline would have said AC repair in, and it would have put the city that they were searching from, right?
Yes.
Because it's relevant to what their search is. He happened to choose our branding one that just wants to talk about our brand and who we are and why you should call us. So just as a side note there.
All right. So conclusion. First, make sure that you pick desirable keyword that generate value for a business. Write out highly relevant ads to those specific keywords. Create great landing pages, and then they will lead to leads. Now, last little thing, you might think, okay, people on a conversion on the landing page, they're filling out the forms, that's it, I can retire and go vacationing. Not true, you have to do conversion optimization. This is a little thing, if you don't have this, do it today, do it right now. If you don't have Google Analytics, set it up. It's free, it's quick, it's easy. If you are not tracking all of the important action for the business, filling out a form on a website, scheduling a consultation, making a phone call, whatever interest forms there are, you have to make sure that it's done through Google Analytics. Install session recording and heat mapping software. This one, very few people do. What that lets you do is literally see a video of how people interact with your website, where they click, what they do, how they scroll. It's Lucky Orange, Hotjar, Crazy Egg. I'm sure you've heard of those.
We use Hotjar. It's pretty easy.
And run A/B testing. That's the last part. The other one was incorrect. Let's do a quick test. I hope this works. So if you have seen this video, then don't help your neighbor. OK, it's a test. There will be players passing the ball to each other. Your task is to count how many passes the people in white T-shirts do. Only people in white T-shirts, how many passes? It's like a 30-second thing. Ready? Concentrate. How many passes? There you go. There's one. Yeah. Still concentrating. Yeah. How many passes did you count? That's not the point. Have you seen the gorilla? Yes. Did anybody not see the gorilla? Let's watch it again really quick. If you have not seen it, and this ties very, very nicely into the whole marketing strategy. There's the gorilla. Right? And it's not like it's running past really quickly. It stays there for a minute. So, there you go. So the lesson here is this. Users see only what they're looking for, no matter what else is going on. The rest of the stuff does not matter. You don't have to spend money, waste on something catchy, unusual, whatever it is. They're looking for specific things. So give them those specific things. That's the lesson about user behavior. I'm going to skip that. Right. The last thing, the best ROI booster tip ever. So to conclude this talk, I would like to provide this for you. This will let you increase your ROI in the most efficient way possible ever. I make a lot of decisions on a daily basis based on my, I used to, based on my gut feeling. But I figured out that about 84% of the time, that gut feeling was just indigestion. Don't trust the gut, trust the data. My name is Dmitrii Kustov. I'm from Regex SEO. It's been a pleasure nerding out with you. Thank you.
Now, I just want to say a quick word to this presentation here. Like I mentioned earlier to you guys, sometimes the partners we partner with may not be feasible for you guys, but when I was talking about Regex, about coming on board as a PRAXIS vendor, I said you've got to be able to offer something that every single member can take advantage of, from the smallest guy to the largest guy. So we work together, and so he's got rates and specials for PRAXIS members that even the lowest guy in the room today can afford or should be able to afford. And so I just want to say that it's not like you have to have a Hiller budget to work with Regex, and that's why I wanted to bring them out here, because I trust their opinion, I value him, and I value their service, and I wanted to make sure that everybody could take advantage if they wanted to. It's who Hiller personally uses, so I just wanted to give that to you. We get asked that all the time. So if nothing else, that's all we got. I think we got one question over here. Yes. What you got? So
I got 3 questions actually. Landing page, I'll make them quick. The landing page.
Okay, let's start with Mike. Yeah, with 3. Sorry. But here you go. Grab one of these.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
All right.
I have 3 questions. I'm gonna make them quick. The landing page on the website, Now, are we talking just a landing page in specific, or a landing page on the site that's specific to the keyword? For instance, you know, you don't want them browsing around to other pages, or is it just a landing page specific that you build out for those?
Landing page, in terms of ads, it's different thing than just a service page. You must create a specific page that are hidden, that are not the same thing as what you would present on a website when people go to, like you tell them, go to my website, something.com. It should be different page, specifically optimized, specifically built for the ads.
So
and that's a super tech answer. No, I'm going to be the super tech. Okay. I'm going to be the guy that says, he's absolutely right. That's best practices. That's what every service, that's what every paper you read about it says. I don't 100% buy into that philosophy myself. I don't mind having a landing page that has other links, but if you look at the best practices, they say you're not supposed to be able to link them anywhere else but onto that landing page, so that they can either click to call, click to book, or whatever action you give them. Give an email address to download something, for example. That's the right answer. I don't 100% buy into that. I'm about 93% bought into that.
So landing page, offer, contact us.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
No other way to
Visual
click and
imagery.
navigate around.
It's got to look pretty.
Yeah,
it's got to be
sure.
able.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to convey what you do really quickly. You got 1.5 to 3 seconds or so. You got to get your point across.
Next thing, should we just use exact match on the keywords, or is phrase match okay?
Phrase match is fine, but you only have to add negative keywords, because sometimes people, let's say you have an exact match of AC repair, people might be asking, what is AC repair? You don't want that. So phrase match is fine, but then you have to work more.
You got to put negative keywords,
Yeah.
so you get rid of the what is.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And also bidding strategy will determine a little bit of that too.
And the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is, how do you feel about ClickCease? Have you heard about, I'm sure you've heard about ClickCease, where they have the bots that keep competitors from clicking on your site?
I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this because I have
I'm not sure what ClickCease
Yeah.
are.
So I've researched them. I've looked them up. I had a conversation with one of our PPC teams, and they seem to think that it's a lot of noise and not a lot of help. So you can look through Google Ads and see how many are bots, quote unquote, on your clicks. And like when they evaluated our campaign, they didn't see many bots.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They say that they can detect competitors who are constantly clicking on your links, and then they can also
yeah, Google can too.
stop showing the ads to that particular person.
Yeah,
exactly.
Google does that as well.
Yeah, yeah. Google has that automatically built in. How efficient they are, that's a bit of a different question. But we have not seen a lot of noise polluting and like wasting your money on even big accounts like Healer and others. Last thing, sorry, this is QR code. You can see it on the table we have there as well. To schedule a consultation with me, it's free, it's complimentary, and it's going to have stuff about that you can. We can talk about your specific strategy.
If you're considering a new SEO or PPC company, it's worth your time in this building to have a half-hour conversation with them.
Do you think exact match is a better way to go?
Yes.
Also,
Yes.
as opposed to phrase match?
All right. Thank you, Dmitrii.
All right. Thank you.